This is something you guys have been asking for like crazy, and after a long search, I finally tracked down 3 stories that take place during school lockdowns. It was a regular, uneventful day in calculus. But since it was Friday, 7th period, we were all restless, counting down the minutes until spring break finally started. You could feel the energy in the room. Unlike a lot of my friends in other classes, we didn't have a test that day. Instead, our teacher, who was pretty chill, decided to play games with us on Sporkle. Right in the middle of class. We were doing a brand logo quiz, and I can still remember the exact moment it happened. It was right after my friend answered a question. I clearly remember the answer being Adidas, when suddenly, the dean's voice came over the intercom. The loudspeaker crackled, and the dean's voice came through, sounding terrified and out of breath. He told all the teachers this was not a drill and to initiate lockdown procedures immediately. I remember feeling a chill go down my spine and goosebumps cover my arms as even our usually relaxed teacher suddenly looked shaky. He rushed to switch off the lights and guided us quickly to the back corner of the room. We sat there in total silence for about 2 minutes. Then the constant humming noise from the panel on the back of the room stopped. The school had clearly shut off. We exchanged uneasy glances, all realizing this had to be serious. A few minutes later, we heard someone yelling loudly from the hall. 2 girls in class started crying, which made the tension even worse. As the screaming got closer, the man, who sounded completely unhinged, began slamming on the lockers and shouting, "I'm going to kill every one of you." That was the point when I genuinely feared for my life. Our teacher quietly told us to stay silent as we glanced around the room, trying to read each other's faces. The banging shifted from the lockers to our classroom door, and that's when one of the girls who had been crying let out a scream. No, the pounding on the door only got louder, and now the man was yelling, "Let me in." 2 girls were sobbing loudly at this point. It felt like forever with that man hammering at the door, but eventually he moved on, still yelling like someone completely unhinged, until his voice faded down the hall. About 10 minutes passed, though it felt more like 30 with the fear we were feeling, before the dean's voice returned on a loudspeaker. It was surprising he gave an update at all, but he explained that the situation involved a man who was reportedly mental. A mentally unstable man had entered the school and attacked the receptionist at the front entrance, causing her to run out of the building screaming. At the time, staff didn't know whether the man was carrying a weapon or not. This was before the school had any surveillance systems or could afford real security, so it was basically unprotected from something like this. The staff had checked the classrooms and hallways, but couldn't locate the man, so the dean told the teachers to go back to their lessons, but to keep all doors locked and not let anyone leave under any circumstance. The most unsettling part, though, came later. One of the janitors on night duty reportedly discovered the man asleep inside a storage closet in the back of the school. According to rumors that spread among the students, sticking out of the man's pocket was a .44 Magnum. People said the janitor must have done something careless to wake him up. Maybe just left the closet door open.
That right now, he's being given the proper help that he needs. My school has
We have 2 separate lunch periods. The first is for all 6th graders and part of the 7th graders, while the second lunch covers the rest of the 7th graders and all the 8th graders. The lockdown happened in early October. That day, it was rainy and overcast. During the first lunch, I heard 4 loud bangs. At first, I assumed it was just thunder, but suddenly the entire cafeteria started screaming. Honestly, I thought they were just overreacting, but then the campus security burst in and started shouting at everyone to get into them. We were all rushed into the multi-purpose room, and the kids who were still in line buying lunch had to throw their food away and come inside too. My friends and I went in along with a huge crowd of other students, and naturally, everyone was trying to figure out what was going on. Our multi-purpose room is massive, and the entire back wall is made of clear glass. As we entered, campus security was quickly pulling curtains over the windows, and teachers were stationed at each exit. My friend Eric, just as curious as the rest of US, asked one of the staff members what was happening. When he came back, he said, "You know those houses right across from TMS?" I nodded. "Well, There's a mentally unstable guy who locked himself inside one of them. He's threatening to kill himself and shoot the police if they evict him. Apparently, he was walking around near the school earlier, watching students in a really creepy way. To make things worse, Eric added that the man was a registered sex offender. We ended up being stuck in a multi-purpose room for over an hour and spanned 2 full class periods. Once things were finally under control, staff began walking us back to our classrooms one group at a time. Later on, I found out the man actually lived next door to my friend. She told me that the previous Halloween, she saw him through his window, slicing his arm and writing his own blood on the glass. "Don't come here, or I'll kill you." Of course, being Halloween, everyone, including Brandy, assumed it was just part of his decorations. But after this terrifying situation, we realized he was truly disturbed. We were just glad he never got close. I'm 22 now, just finished college, and I recently started working in my old high school as a kind of IT intern in the school basement. The basement is cluttered and poorly organized, but there's a small office down in the basement that's actually pretty nice. It has 3 big desks, 2 mini fridges, a flat-screen TV mounted on the wall, and best of all, cool, refreshing air conditioning. A total luxury, considering no one else in the school, students or teachers, gets to enjoy it. The room also houses all the school's servers and tech equipment. I landed the job thanks to 3 of my former computer science teachers, who honestly adored me. They weren't just instructors, they felt like real friends. All 3 of them went out of their way to help me get this position, and it had been great. At least until something weird happened a few weeks back. That day, my 2 co-workers, Dave and Gary, who shared the space with me, weren't around. They were upstairs handling paperwork or something like that. I was mid-lunch, eating a sandwich, when one of the women from the front office called to inform me the school had gone into lockdown, and that someone potentially armed had entered the building. There really wasn't much I could do. As cozy as the basement office was, it didn't even have a real door, just a wide-open entrance. And the main basement door, it didn't even have a working one. For my own safety, I shut off all the lights and turned off my light. I left my phone on the desk, texting both Dave and Gary, but neither replied. I stayed there in the dark, just waiting. I played a few games on my phone for about 20 minutes, unsure of what was really happening. I couldn't hear anything from the floors above, and I wasn't allowed to make calls until I got the all clear from the front office. Then I heard the basement door creak open, loud and echoing across the room. I sat up straight in my chair, suddenly tense, wondering if I should. I called out for Gary or Dave, hoping to get some answers, but before I heard a reply, someone came sprinting down the basement stairs. The footsteps were getting closer, headed right toward my office. I quickly pushed my chair back and ducked under the desk. Whoever entered didn't turn on lights. Everything went still. I can't even begin to describe how terrified I was. It felt like if I made a single sound, that would be the end of me. And then, my phone chimed. A new text. At that moment, I swear my heart stopped. I clenched my teeth and held my breath as the footsteps crept closer to where I was hiding. I couldn't take it anymore. I suddenly threw myself out from under the desk and started begging, pleading for whoever was not to hurt me. Then someone grabbed my arm and helped me up. It was a man, red plaid shirt, jeans, and a reddish-black baseball cap. He calmly said, "It's all right. I'm just hiding down here with you." Trying to stay quiet, I whispered, "Do you know what's happening upstairs?" But he didn't answer me directly. Instead, he asked, "Is there a way out down here?" I pointed toward the back and said, "Yeah, that way." Then, before he could move, I asked, "Wait, who are you?" There was a pause. Then he explained that he was just there to pick up his son when a teacher told him to take cover. As he talked, I checked my phone. The message I received earlier was from Dave. It read, "Dude, this is insane. Some guy with a gun shot Mr. Buckley. He's wearing a red shirt and a cap. Don't come upstairs." I was just about to read the message aloud when I looked up and felt my stomach drop. The man was watching me, and he could tell I knew. The look in his eyes changed. I panicked. Without thinking, I bolted for the stairs. Just then, a gunshot rang out, echoing through the basement. I could hear the bullet tear past. The bullet ricocheted off something metal in the darkness. But luckily, it missed me, and I managed to sprint upstairs. Thankfully, police officers were already stationed at every exit, including the one leading from the basement. The second the man pushed through the door, they caught him. There was even more good news. Our teacher, Mr. Buckley, survived the shooting. It was later revealed that the shooter and Mr. Buckley had some kind of personal conflict, though no one ever explained exactly what it was about. All anyone knew, for sure, was that Mr. Buckley hadn't done anything that could possibly justify such an attack. Even now, I know the sound of that gunshot will be something I'll never forget. It will echo in my mind for the rest of my life.